Hi, my name is Chris. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing Leetcode problem 1876, substrings of size 3 with distinct characters. I'm solving this with JavaScript. Alright, so we're given this string, right? We need to first check how many substrings with a length of 3 we have. And the substrings are going to be strings that are basically 3 characters in a row like this. So we have X, Y, Z, then Y, Z, Z, then Z, Z, A, and then Z, A, Z, right? And so we need to see if how many of these substrings have 3 distinct characters, right? So X, Y, Z does, Y, Z, Z does not, Z, Z, A does not, Z, A, Z does not, right? 2 Z's, 2 Z's, and 2 Z's, right? So we only have 1. So I'll put this 1. Pretty easy one to understand. Let's move to CodePen and solve it, eh? So function. Create a function, we'll call it func. Create a variable, call it array. Then we're going to create a for loop, and we're going to say let I equal 0 if I is less than s dot length minus 2 I plus plus. Okay. So let's log the function to console too. Okay. So now let's just make sure this is correct. So really what we want to do is we want to see it up to the Z, right? That's where we want to loop up to there, right? Because the last substring is going to be ZAZ. So we don't want to go past that. So let's make sure we've done that correctly. We did. So now what we can do is we can say array dot push s at I plus s at I plus 1 plus s at I plus 2. And then here we're going to return array. There we go. We got our 4 substrings. So now all we need to do is we need to check which of one of these substrings has all unique characters. So we're going to create a variable called result. This is going to equal array.length. And that is what we're going to return at the end of the day. And then we're going to create an array called temp. And now we're going to do a nested for loop. So now you're going to see each one of the inner arrays. But now we need to loop through each inner array. So we need an inner for loop. So now if we console.log array at I and j, we get the individual letters of each array. Okay. So now we have this variable temp, right? So what we can do is we can look in temp and we can say, does that letter exist in temp? If it doesn't, we'll push it in temp. If it does, we'll immediately we'll decrement result, and we'll immediately break out of the inner for loop, right? So let me just kind of make sure I make this clear. So we're gonna go in here, and our inner for loop is gonna loop through x, y, z. We're gonna say, does x exist in temp? It doesn't, so we push it in there. We say, does y exist in temp? It doesn't. We push it in there. We say, does z exist in temp? It doesn't. We push it in there. Then we come to and then we clear temp, and then we come here and we say, okay, does y exist in temp? It doesn't. We push it in there. We say, does z exist in temp? It doesn't. We push it in there. We say, does z exist in temp? And we say, oh, it does. So what we do is we decrement result by 1, and then we break out of the inner for loop. So basically, we're starting with the length of array, and then every time we see a repeated character in one of these inner arrays, we result -1, right? Okay, and then here, say if temp includes array at I, j, we say result -, and then we break. So if it doesn't include that, then we push into temp array I, j. And then we gotta clear temp after every inner for loop. All right, let's grab our code. Move on over to Leetcode, paste it in there, format our code, and submit. There you go. Alright, hopefully you found this video enjoyable and helpful. If you did, please give it a like. It helps my channel to grow. If you'd like to see more like these, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again real soon.